Well, I don't even know what to say listening to Reese and her response to this weird Marilyn Scoville triad quadrangle with the Nazis and the toxic fans and Aaron and his crew. It's out there. So for the new people, Relatable Reese was in a relationship with Tommy Scoville for a while, and she was friendly with Aaron Smith Levin, although they recently have, I guess, informally decided that they're not friends. And for a while, Relatable Reese was part of the SPTV community, but now she says she's doing her own thing. So I've already did a prior commentary where we basically covered some of the basics. So we're gonna want more information, go to that video. We have to be more advanced here. I'm trying to be super generous. I think the tenor of what she was saying was fine. That she wants to make peace, and if Marilyn wants to continue attacking her, Relatable Reese, whatever. But Reese is going to move on. She does acknowledge and even support Tommy Scoville's alleged lawsuit. Again, we don't know for sure, but if Marilyn gets served the papers, then we can say officially she will be sued. And I think he is super serious. So it's going to be quite an interesting next few weeks when Marilyn gets the formal paperwork that, yeah, this is serious. This is a real suit. Get ready. So Little Reese seems to be doing a tone of peace and let's have a truce, let's move on, let's step back. But then, which she does this now a lot in part of her streams, she played a little audio basically saying, stop looking at me, stop talking about me, mind your own business. I'm thriving, you're not. Mind your business. Mind you, Relatable Reese has done tons of videos on the Jesters, a social group that has these powerful men and they do things with women, and she got all kinds of upset because her ex-husband was linked to it. And if somebody could have asked her, hey, maybe mind your own business, like, no, 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 it's okay. It's okay for Reese to get into the private lives of her enemies. Alrighty then, but now it's mind your own business. Let's have a truce. Let's move on. I'm tired. I don't want to talk about Marilyn. Right. Right.
I couldn't agree with that more, right? You're all about, like this crazy crusade. And I don't mean you as in her. I mean, a lot of people are into like getting into other people's lanes and, yeah, Joe, like just cancel culture. And oh my God, did you get this clip of 2 seconds of what this person said? Let's zoom in on it and make fun of them and talk about it for 4 hours and try to get clicks and views. It's crazy. And I don't think it's funny. And I think these are people.
Well, that sounds all nice and good, but then you remember Relatable Reese unleashed a long con video playing not a couple seconds or even a couple minutes. We're talking like this massive fat audio file. And even that was edited down. But now it's like trying to find clips of X or Y. That's just toxic and cancel culture. Even though the whole point of the long con was to cancel Scoville, and after he lost thousands of subscribers, a lot of money, then Reese is like, okay, we're done. You experienced enough pain. I'm going to pull the plug. I mean, okay, I guess technically that is better than Marilyn because Marilyn is just squeezing Scoville for all the views she can get and make money. It's not about helping the victim. It's not about the truth and justice. It's just clickbait, and cash in. It's like, okay, fine. As an entrepreneur, I don't find anything to fault with Marilyn, but again, this is phony. This is phony. The way Relatable Reese is like, I'm so much better, guys. I don't talk about content creators. Oh no, just behind the scenes, you try to destroy them, destroy their channels. And I have physical proof of this, by the way. I'm just not just saying it to say it. I know we know for a fact she's tried to destroy various channels. And again, I'm kind of on her side here reluctantly. She did a copyright claim on somebody trying to put out the long con video again without her permission. And there you go. That video is gone. So now it's being privately held by Reese and she's not letting it go. And you have to be honest, because the long con video was having some pretty good traction, so she said goodbye to a lot of money. And I do not agree with her stance of, well, I'm going to forgive Scoville and maybe we'll do projects together. I think that's very disrespectful to the female victim who Scoville victimized at a very young age. But I am stuck that Reese, and I don't want to say this, but Scoville does have a point that it's Marilyn obsessing over them. They are not trying to obsess over Marilyn. I mean, good or bad, whether you like Relatable Reese, her platform is much larger than Marilyn. And frankly, I don't think the appeal is that hard to understand. And I know some people were beating me up in the comments. Listen, whether you think Relatable Reese is beautiful or pretty or whatever, the point is she's way better looking and much more personable than Marilyn, right? Marilyn's whole thing now is just hatred, hatred, hatred. I've done some hateful videos. I'm not trying to act purer than now. I'm just saying in terms of the PR. Okay, half of what Relatable Reese is saying is true. That she is nowhere as toxic as Marilyn. However, two things can be true. Two things are often true. Her gaslighting her audience that, yeah, I guess he did something in the past. No, no, we found the paperwork. This was assault. Assault against a very young girl. Now, if Relatable Reese doesn't care about that, that is fine. She wants to continue associating with Scoville. That is fine too. You're going to get severely criticized. I'm not saying this is like, oh, I'm a hater. I post videos for money and to hate on Reese. I'm just stating as a fact, right? Because you already called him out as a con artist and a thief and a liar. And at one time, you didn't even feel safe talking about him. But now it's like, yeah, maybe we'll do some conversations, make money, talk about the Jesters or Scientology and, cash it out. Cash it out. Alrighty then. Alrighty then. So, on the one hand, she's talking truth, but really she wants the war to continue. She's just going to be nice about it, right? She's not going to call directly Marilyn any names, right? Because, no nice way of putting it. Marilyn is a bit rotund. She's rather big for her size. She's fat. Reese, just trying to be fair, is much thinner than Marilyn. So, and Marilyn's getting upset herself, like, oh, people would just insult her about her physical appearance. Well, again, that's kind of the point. If you keep escalating things, it's gonna boomerang. That's probably the only law of the internet. If you keep putting out a lot of insane hate videos and just this hate energy, it is gonna double back, right? And to be fair, right, it is not totally black and white. I mean, Marilyn does have a little bit of a charity. Literally, she has a very small charity. They do some good works. But then the same can be said about Relatable Race. She just doesn't keep the money. She has helped people, but again, it feels like a very cynical enterprise, and it involves covering up some pretty horrific crimes. Which, again, for Relatable Race, and that's her opinion, says I really don't care about that. I mean, yeah, there's something in the past. I'm not going to look into it. Okay, all right. I don't think that's a great response. But you would have to be honest that yes, part of what Marilyn is saying is also kind of true that Relatable Reese is using her charisma and her audience size to try to gaslight Marilyn's audience. And both sides can't be trusted. But I do think Relatable Reese is a little bit closer to the truth. That Marilyn is frankly has, to put it mildly, psychological issues. This is not about the victim. It's not about the crime. She doesn't care about that. It does feel like she suffers from a very severe inferiority complex. Instead of just dealing with it through therapy or some traditional means, she's finding some local cause for apparently her chaos in her life and getting really angry and trying to just destroy that thing. And again, Marilyn can claim this is a documentary, it's all about facts. No, it's not. It's not. There are clearly grifters way worse than even, right, Relatable Reese and or Scoville. There are worse people. Marilyn doesn't care. What Marilyn's audience wants is some red, juicy meat of her attacking Reese and fantasizing that somehow Reese can be controlled. Right? Okay. That's one idea. That's one idea. Another is to just let it go. Let's move on. Again, I'm going to say, frankly, it's in my financial benefit for Reese and Marilyn to continue the MARISA wars, whatever we're going to label this thing. But you'd have to argue, yeah, there's a lot of exploitating. Again, two things can be true, right? Let's remember. So I do think overall what Reese is doing is pretty awful and terrible, covering up Scoville's crimes. But Marilyn's not really helping. The way she's exposing what Scoville did, but adding all these lies and fabrications, isn't helping. You don't have to lie about this guy. This guy has many awful things to talk about, which we can safely talk about legally. But speculating all this weird stuff about children, etc., etc., and it's not even new. This is all Serge. Like, you go to Serge's videos, he goes bat crazy, assuming any adult or old man or old woman, the only reason they could be in Scientology is because, children. They want to take those children into dark rooms and do things, right? It's a very weird, obsessive personality and obsessive mentality. But when Marilyn is caught red handed, she's like, no, I need to save children's. Okay. All right. Well, believe it or not, Reese is saying her and Scoville will maybe collaborate in the future. Hmm. Hmm. And whatever else, I don't think, right, Marisa needs to threaten a lawsuit. She's in an incredibly powerful position that others are afraid of her. She's not afraid of anybody. Now, that contradicts what she says a few months earlier, but that's relatable race for you. One day she feels threatened. The next day, we're back to talking with Scoville. Oh, Marilyn's the real enemy. I agree. I'd have to agree with relatable Reese that Marilyn's lying is often a toxic grift. That's true. But she is stating a few facts, and we should be rational, separate and praise her for the factual material and the flights of fantasy or whatever she wants to do. That's her thing. She wants to continue playing with Nazi kids and thinks she's helping black children by helping knife her to the Nazi. That's her delusion. That's her delusion. But here, relatable reason again. Let's be very clear. There's a lot of Scientology training going on here, but I don't think she's gaslighting her audience entirely. I think she's being here sincere that yeah, she's not very impressed with Marilyn. Doesn't take her seriously. She's already been dismissed. But if Marilyn wants to keep going, okay, fine. Then she's going to face probably two lawsuits, not just one. And with relatable Reese, that could get really bad really quickly because she does have the money. So if she's going to hire an attorney, she may hire a really powerful attorney, and Marilyn is going to just not maybe pay up a lot of money for damages. She may be sent to jail because we all know Reese has a lot of money. If she wants to spend that money on a legal counsel to shut up Marilyn, she can do that with 1 second. She can just pick up the phone. It's over. So I don't know. Marilyn just wants to play with a lot of fire and thinks she's not going to get burned. But I would nicely caution her. You're not as powerful or intelligent or valuable as you think. You're just not. You're not.